show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Bass in your face. Bass in your face.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel, watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it's called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I just want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Okay. I have to apologize because as we're doing the stream and eating, because I haven't eaten dinner yet, because just finished a virtual meeting, so I have to get ready for tonight's stream. So as always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who've already subscribed to the channel, whether you've been a supporter from day one or just recently joined. And I just want to say thank you very much for all your support. And I see here we have Don Armando in the chat. Good evening, sir. I just want to let everybody know that he has his channel. So I'm going to ask that you please show some love for him. And check out his content and support his channel. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, whether it be TikTok or Instagram. And I see we also have Gigi in the house. Good evening. Thank you very much for stopping by. Also, Gigi has her own platforms. So I'm going to ask you, if you have not done so, please show some love to Golden Goddess, subscribe, and check out her content. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices, and all those who watch from the clouds, including the haters. So what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you're not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. So tonight, we're going to have what I call open discussion. Basically, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about several things. Good evening, Irving. Thank you very much for stopping by. Of which I'm going to give my opinion regarding the situation. You don't have to agree. You don't have to disagree. And in fact, we can discuss it. Okay. Also, I want to let everybody know that the link to join the panel has been pinned. So anyone anytime wishes to hit that link and join the panel, they're more than welcome. Again, let me make this perfectly clear. If I never came across you before, I'm going to ask that you please come up in the backstage because I want to make sure that no one tries to flash anything inappropriate, which would cause the good people of YouTube to take down the stream. So the first couple of things I'm going to be talking about is, of course, the presumptive Republican candidate for the White House. none other than Donald Trump. Okay. Now, recently, Donald Trump has tried many ways to raise funds for his campaign. A large part of it is to, raise funds he needs for all his court cases that he's the subject of. Whether it be $400 sneakers, or special training cards. Now he's selling Bibles. Okay. Under the notion of make America pray again. When I heard this, it's kind of like expecting a hooker to talk about chastity. Okay. Now, of course, he's entitled to sell whatever he wants. Okay. Whether it be Bibles or what have you. I just find it very ironic. Disregarding all the court cases that he has and the 91 charges that he's facing. We're talking about a person who married 3 times, his previous marriages ended in divorce because of his infidelity. Okay, which is a big no-no, and as far as Christian ethics is concerned. But he's entitled. Hey, he's entitled to sell Bibles. Okay. Am I going to buy one of his Bibles? No. First of all, if I'm going to buy a Bible, it's going to be from a Christian bookstore or a Bible Society, whether it be the New York Bible Society or anything like that. I will buy my Bible from a church or a Christian bookstore. I'm sorry, I would not buy a Bible from Donald Trump. Okay, so what he's going to put down in his 10 Commandments? Thou shalt commit adultery. Okay. Thou shalt fib. Look. Again, he's entitled to sell Bibles. Okay. And of course, he does have a lot of legal fees, and they have to pay because of all those accusations. Now, of course, and let me state this again before I get accused from the pro-Trump people that I'm bashing Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. The fact of the matter is, and again, he is innocent until proven guilty. Okay, but never has anyone in U.S. history has dealt as many accusations as Donald Trump has faced. And of course, there's criminal cases and there's civil cases. One of them, they reduced his bond to $175 million, which is still a lot of money. Good evening, Georgia. Thank you very much for stopping by. So, what's my take? As long as he's being okay, he can sell his Bibles, but if I were you, I would go to a Christian bookstore, or I would go to a church or Bible societies where you can actually purchase a Bible. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be talking about is, of course, Trump financial woes. Okay. It seems like within the last few months, Donald Trump has been having problems raising money. Part of it, again, part of it as far as his campaign to regain the White House, and part of it has to do with his legal fees. Okay. Now, one of the reasons why he's having so much difficulty is that the small contributors, when I mean small, basically those who give like $200 or less or $50 or less, as compared to the ones that can donate thousands of dollars, there are not many people out donating in small amounts. And it's been speculating. Yeah, well, okay. That is what I've been told. Okay. Um, I kind of take it with a grain of salt, either way, because remember, he does have a settlement which he has to pay back. Okay, now I don't know what this. I think it's 175 million, 400 million, or whatever. Whatever it is, it is a huge amount of money, which will definitely um, reduce his net worth considerably. But the fact of the matter is, he's having a hard time um, raising funds. Okay. And also, as a result of the difficulties he's been having, he had to cancel some rallies. Um, okay. So, what he's doing now, um, whenever a Republican candidate, whether it be for Congress or the Senate, is having a rally, what he's doing now is asking to be invited so he can get up and support that person, and then get up there and talk his shtick about making America great again, how the election was stolen, and yada yada yada. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And what's the crazy part is the panel of judges were all Democrats. So go figure. But it still doesn't take away the fact when you compare Joe Biden, which I think at this point he has, between himself and the Democratic National Committee, has raised this year $153 million. Okay. And that Donald Trump and the Republican Committee, National Committee, has only raised a fraction of that. And a lot of that money is going to legal fees. Okay. And instead of actually, you know, try to get himself reelected. Okay. So, in fact, many people are now thinking that Joe Biden has a very good chance of regaining the White House. We shall see what happens. I can say this much: Donald Trump is having a huge battle trying to get new supporters, and is particularly struggling when it comes to independent voters because they don't look, they want to deal with facts. They want to deal with how he's going to, how which one of the two is actually going to deal with the issues this country is facing. And this country is facing a lot of issues. So I really, it's going to be interesting. Okay. Georgia, I just want to let you know, if you don't mind, I made you a mod for my channel. So you have the authority, along with the other mods, to deal with the trolls and make sure if anyone acts inappropriate to either block them or delete them, the comments or what have you. So, but I mean, the election. Okay, the election is 7 months plus away. Okay. Speaking about election, next week we're having our presidential primary here in the state of New York. Yes. You know what? Look, this is the thing. I try to keep it stress free, drama free. Okay. Now, again, people have a right to run their platforms as they see fit here, and please, whatever beeps, whatever arguments, whatever gripes that you have with other people, do not bring it here. Okay, I will deal with you accordingly, and not me, my mods will. So, so the next thing talking about is Trump inability to gain new supporters. Okay, I mean, look, it's kind of hard to gain supporters when you're constantly rehashing the same thing that the election was stolen in 2020 and that Donald Trump won. First of all, let's make it perfectly clear. Donald Trump lost when it comes to the popular vote, and more importantly, Donald Trump lost when it comes to the votes in the Electoral College. Okay. And of course, that's it. That itself is controversial because many people believe that a president should be chosen not by the Electoral College, but by popular vote. Okay. The Electoral College is an instrument that was created a long time ago. Okay. And the whole purpose of the whole thing was to give states, large nor small, equal influence and equal representation. Okay, kind of like when you have the Senate. Okay, each state, no matter how big, like California, which has 54 congressional districts, and states like Delaware, that I think has 3. Okay, they both have the same number of representatives in the Senate, which is 2. And the House is 435, and again, it all depends on the state. Okay, you have large states like New York, California, uh, Texas, Pennsylvania, Ohio. I'm just trying to think of some other states. No. Now, why no one talked about trying to eliminate? Okay, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I had major issues with both candidates. Okay, for multiple reasons. As people know I'm pro-life. Okay, Biden is for reproductive rights, and to be perfectly honest, he's too old. He shouldn't be running, but God bless him. He has the right to run. He just have to try to convince enough people to vote for him to stay in the White House. And then you have someone like him that's 80 years old, um, and then you have someone like Donald Trump that's almost 80 years old. And if you can bypass all the lies that he shared, And if you can bypass all the criminal accusations, the fact that, some people claim that he's somehow demented and senile, that perhaps he's suffering from dementia. Now, mind you, he has never undergone a psychological evaluation, so we really don't know. The bottom line is that we have another case, and we have to pick the lesser of two evils. Okay, you see, let me tell you something. I'm pro-life myself. And I'll be perfectly honest. In 2020, I voted for Biden. He is the first pro-choice president I voted for in 40 years. Okay, and I see we have a guest. So I just want to state that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to their image. Some of the views that people hold may be considered offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. And now we're going to bring in our guest. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
So how you doing, Don Armando?
I'm chilling, just be my character today. I'm the shave supremacist.
Okay. So tonight
Yeah.
is open discussion. So basically, I'm just talking about Donald Trump. Okay, and I see we have another guest. Good evening.
Howdy, and good evening to you guys.
Hey, George Orr. I'm just here, just campaigning for the shave supremacist show.
You sound like Grand Machant. That's who you
Well,
are.
I don't know who that is, but me personally, I could say this: I'm a shave supremacist, and I don't like hairy people. And I've seen, well, there is some. I heard that there's some freak around town that likes to go around and dox people, but we ain't gonna talk about that loser tonight.
No.
You can email me privately about that. But
Gotcha.
yeah, go on. My email's out
So
there. But go on.
but other than that, I don't care about Donald Trump, and I don't care about Biden. I only care about the shade supremacist party. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason I believe that this country is going down and everything like that is because certain people don't shave. So if everybody went up and shaved, I think this country will be a better place.
So, what's your thoughts about Georgia? What's your thoughts about the fact that we have to pick between Biden and Trump?
Goes back to kind of like what I said earlier. Like, who are you like divinely geared towards voting for? But if I really had to choose, so let's just say if there's like a big time showdown between the two. So I guess if it's like a Biden or a Trump rematch, if it's going to boil down to that, then hey, pick for the risk versus the disaster.
Okay.
Right.
Well, this is.
But I'm not voting for no pro-choice candidate.
Okay.
Can't do that. I think that's just now crossing into enemy territory.
Basically,
But that's just me.
Okay.
I hear you on that.
Mm-hmm.
When it was Trump and Hillary Clinton, this is the analogy that I use, and I think it's appropriate right now. You have one candidate, which is a horse that's getting ready to die. And then you have another candidate, which is basically a horse-drawn dung cart. which if you ever been near a dung cart, it basically smells like a huge pile of manure.
Well, yeah, go on, Jose. I had to step away for a little bit. What did you say?
Okay, I said that when we had the 2016 election, I compared Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton to one being a horse that's getting ready to die
Mm-hmm.
and a horse-drawn dung cart. In case you're wondering what that is, that's a cart that's full of manure.
All right. I
So
mean,
one is the horse that's just about ready to die, and the other one is
right,
the manure cart.
of course. I mean, we know that analogy because you and I we have on Caribbean heritage, Jose. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I did not vote for both candidates in 2016 because the Democrats were not that convincing. First of all, and second of all, it is funny, right? That that group that calls themselves the Hispanotics. I bet you none of them were even Demo were even Republican before they actually came to have that adversary of Trump taking back America.
Mhm.
So with that thing, this is one thing I gotta say, and this is me just saying this. If you actually look at conservative politics within the Latin American community, right? The
Mhm.
first ones do actually went to go full blown with conservatism, racism, whatever the case you may call it, were the Cubans. And the reason why they actually are so conservative is because they saw what liberal policies did to their homeland. And that's why Castro was in power. So they believe that the Democrats is just equal or akin to the communists. So therefore, that's why you would actually would see that part will actually vote conservative over everything. Just a quick second.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, and then also, hey, a lot of Cubans were also escaping communism at the time, and they still are. So when they finally arrive down to southern Florida, it's like paradise to them.
Yeah.
My mom lived in Cuba for a brief period of time, and man, it was the biggest cultural shock to ever hit her.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, the next thing we're going to talk about is the pride lunacy, which I discussed in rather detail at last night's stream.
Oh yeah, that's when I told you though that man, in addition to you being called the racist, senile old man, you were about to be called quote unquote fat phobic too. A bigot who needs to get fired from your job. It's gonna happen,
First of all,
man. That's just a warning.
okay, first of all, anyone that's going after my job, good luck, because first of all, I happen to belong to a very strong union, which will fight to prevent me from getting terminated. Okay, and as far as people getting upset with me, calling these individuals accountable for being overweight, too bad. I, I believe in individual accountability, which is lacking on certain individuals. And the fact of the matter is that you compare the fact that you're 400 pounds compared to communities that has dealt with racism in this country, that's dealt with private prejudice in this country, that's been persecuted for centuries, and you're trying to claim that you're overweight by your own choice, you're being persecuted. Miss me with the fluff.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I just had to do
And
On. Hey.
I just have to give an appropriate response to the lunacy.
that. I mean, this is what I gotta say, right? Now, I'm gonna be honest. I work out and everything like that, so I
Hmm.
try to not be overweight or whatsoever the case may be.
Uh huh.
So my thing is this: if a person want to go and use their weight as weight discrimination, I'm not denying that it happens because I know people it does happen too. You know what I'm saying? And you have certain people that try to have it off and everything like that, but then sometimes it's psychological as well.
Hmm.
But yet if a person's gonna go around and use weight discrimination and everything like that, 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna actually end well because if you really look at it, you have certain when it comes to looks and appearances and everything like that. Let's just say this: unless if a person's who's a big model or anything like that, okay, and then as soon as they, oh yeah, you're too quote unquote fat for to do a modeling shoot or anything like that, and that person files for discrimination. Okay, but then guess what? There's certain criteria to be met. So therefore, it's like a spongy area when it comes to this to discrimination and everything like that. And to be honest, it's we're living in a world that everybody's getting discriminated against, and and albeit we're in the United States, you're going to be discriminated for being fat, for for loving the same gender, for the color of your skin. You could be You could be discriminated for the size of whatsoever. Um, a lot of people don't understand that now you have certain people who are actually being discriminated. So therefore, there's a lot of levels of discrimination, but there's only certain discriminations in the United States that could actually be, um, you know, handled in civil suit. It's like you can't let's be honest, and we all three men here. Like say if a guy wants to be want to identify as a tree, right? And then he goes into the workforce and say, "Hey, I'm not a man or a woman. I'm just a tree." 9 times out of 10, if he was to actually have a civil suit, he will lose because a trees don't talk, and number two, if you want to go around and identify as a tree, it's not going to actually fly in court.
Hmm.
Now,
Well,
with with that said, that's like now that said, there's another thing too. Um, when you actually talking about, let's just say, a person who is overweight, right?
Hmm.
But then you have certain people that that they have like a mental condition, that they have mental condition because of the teasing and everything like that. Okay, I understand that. But then you have a person who will actually use their weight to actually discriminate on others while under the guise of saying, okay, body positivity. All right. So therefore, I'm not going to go around and mention a famous person, but we've seen that all around, right? Like, for example, people who were discriminated with in the past, right?
Hmm.
Now they become the persons that discriminate on others. So in that aspect, if men are used to doing things as a man, right? And let's
Mhm.
say somebody from the alphabet community says, "Oh, this is what we do," or whatever, and now they're trying to dictate what heterosexual men are supposed to do. I'm like, okay, well, guess what? We don't tell you what y'all do in your community. Maybe it happened like around like the '60s, '70s, and from millennia and everything. But now, just because that certain people are having their rights to do whatever, don't go around and dictate what we're doing, what we've been doing for thousands of years. That's all I'm saying. But certain people now, since the area of discrimination is open, and they want to go around and use certain certain avenues to actually say, "Oh yeah, he's discriminating on me." So therefore, my struggle is more than the people that had struggles and everything like that. So therefore, you have certain people who will gaslight others into thinking that their struggle was more than other people, and then that's how they actually say, "Oh, we're going to have these laws and everything like that." It's an insane concept, but you're actually seeing it play out in this year, 2024.
Okay. I understand that, but with all due respect, my perceived discrimination or prejudice or persecution as an obese person does not compare to someone like a mixed person, like our friend Georgia here, or
Right,
anyone that from the African American community, or even the LGBTQ plus whatever community or what have you. Okay, the difference is Georgia cannot do anything to change the fact that he's a mixed person.
right,
I'm obese. I can lose the weight. Okay, it is not the same thing. And the fact of the matter is, for these individuals to claim that they're being persecuted because they have too much fat, when they have the ability to to take corrective actions to slowly lose the weight. Okay, Georgia cannot be anything but biracial. I can avoid being overweight. So that's the lunacy regarding the fat pride crowd. And I'm sure Georgia, you have a couple of remarks that we should share.
Yeah, and then also I do want to also say this too on a related note without going too much on a conjecture or better yet a tangent is since I know this that you mentioned I guess the alphabet community. Um I would not even put them on the same equivalency as me being who I am as well. Because
Okay.
I have to be honest here. Now, again, not to bash anybody, because I have a gay brother who I love very much. But I am not really going to say that what he is the same as being mixed or black or white either. Because I have to be honest, if you are two dudes together or two ladies together, well, you being two dudes, you don't really have to go down on each other like that. But I actually have to be who I am. I have to be mixed. But you do not have to take it up the you know what. Just saying.
I hear.
I
I hear.
understand.
It's just that it infuriates me when someone tries to claim being persecuted because of their obesity. Okay,
That
I
too, though,
mean,
because
obesity
they
you
call
can
that
take care
stuff
of that.
intersection. Well, yeah, because they're now calling it intersectional oppression. That's what a lot of all these other communities are doing, though, and they're not trying to creep into like communities that talk about like racial issues or just things about yourself that you can't really quite change about yourself. It's either they're just a lot of false equivalencies and false dichotomies being made all over the place when it comes to the fundamentally separate issues.
Mhm.
exactly.
Can't do that.
Mm-mm.
Well, I will be
Same thing for
addressing
the
the.
ladies too, though. That
Sorry, go ahead.
no, go on.
No, go
Same
ahead.
thing for the
Gonzalo.
ladies too. Like ladies still, even for the ladies still. I mean, I know that like lesbians like to quote unquote scissor, as they like to call it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get explicit like that. I'm just saying what they say. But ladies, you don't have to do that either. But I have to be somebody who is also Louis Creole descent through my mom's side, which I can do nothing about. I have to quote unquote scissor. It's not the same thing. And people down south in Louisiana, Mississippi, they're going to make that very clear. They would take it as a huge insult, by the way, if you go down there. But not even just in the South, but me even growing up in the Bay Area, you will still have like the Black community, even in Berkeley and Oakland and Richmond, California, saying the same thing, except down South, they're just going to be more obvious with it. But even in the Bay Area, they still feel the same way about people creating these false dichotomies and false equivalencies out of all these, like I said, fundamentally separate issues.
Well, on a happier note, this week I actually reached 2 milestones.
Yes.
The
I
first
noticed.
milestone was getting over 80,000 views on this platform. That's the first plateau I reached. The second is reaching today. I reached 350 subs.
That's
That's
nice milestone there, man. Like I'm almost at 300 subs myself. All
yeah,
done and
I'm almost
developed
at
all
500.
organically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got to go around and talk to somebody that knows the algorithms because I'm lost. Maybe I was for 39 like last week, but I think I lost like 4 subscribers. So I think I have to go and put out content because one of my content I was just actually trying to play music videos, and then I got hit with the copyright strike.
Oh, yikes. So I have a feeling that probably copyright owner saw that and struck your channel.
Yeah, yeah. The thing is, though, it was like I went up and I wrote in the description, I do not own the copyright to the music, and I still got struck.
Well,
So
yeah, because even though if you write in the description about how you do not own the copyrighted material, the original artist can still file a complaint with YouTube
got you.
because you didn't really directly ask the artist whether you can use his stuff or not, though. Because on here in YouTube, though, whatever you make and upload, you are automatically the copyright owner.
Right.
And so if you don't, like, let's say if you use my stuff, though, and you don't ask me directly, then yeah, I could still complain, even if you try to go under fair use.
Right.
So yeah, I would say whoever the guy's music video that you were trying to upload, ask him, and then hopefully he will approve you.
Right.
Which is why I'm very careful when it comes to other people's content. I mean, I rarely share other people's content. I mean, usually what I'll do is like I'll share like news reports, things of that nature. That seems to be okay, but I make it a point, fair use. And I've shared this, this YouTube creator known as DD, who's a very, outstanding YouTube creator. I've shared her content, but what I've done is I added my own commentary, and I indicated, and I gave her credit. So I have been fortunate not being hit with a copyright strike, because I'm trying to do my best not to get hit with one.
Right. So Jose, did it rain today in New York?
I'm sorry?
Did it rain today in New York?
Yeah. I mean, you know what? It's been raining off and on all this week. So,
Yeah, it was.
I mean, if
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know any better, I think we were in April, not March.
right. I mean, it's like it's to the point that today I went when I went to work. My wife was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get the umbrella and everything." But then for like the whole day, it was just drizzling. It stopped. It's drizzling. It stopped. So I don't know. I'm just trying to see what tomorrow holds.
You know what? I
Hey,
wish I knew, my friend. I
Yep.
wish I knew. But like I said before, first of all, a huge shout out to all the people who support this platform for almost um, 3 years. Okay,
Yeah.
and it's been slow growing because I'm not into all that yelling and screaming and what have you that other people do. I don't go
Same here.
ratchet. So I've so it's been coming slowly, but it's growing. And through the shorts I've been doing, that's where I gained the most of my subs and most of my views. Okay. And actually, last night's stream was, it did pretty well. It's gotten close to 100 views. Um,
Wow.
but it says that I really felt as an obese person, I have to give a rebuttal to the lunatic fat fry crowd.
Yeah.
yeah, but
I mean,
as
I mean, if you actually look at it, it's when you actually talk about them, it's like, yo, it's like opening like a whole anomaly of now dag, I forgot what to say. Anomaly of how should I say of the victim mindset and everything like that. When certain people they don't really even have the victim mindset to begin with. So
what
I'm seeing that also.
I should say this, Don, but people in modern day terms, especially in this social climate, don't want to think of themselves as villains. They want to think of themselves as victims. They want to perpetuate their own persecutory beliefs. That's what I've always been noticing. But
Right.
Yeah.
but it's time for people to start actually looking at themselves as a villain and start looking inwardly instead of walking around thinking that you must be like oppressed or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talking about oppression, right?
Hmm.
And this is what I'm just saying. The term oppression, I guess, now has, I guess, a different meaning or a different definition because you have certain people who are saying that they're oppressed, right? So let's put this in context, right? I'm friend with both of y'all, right?
Yes.
So if I'm friend with both of y'all, right? And we have like a good discourse and everything, and we're just going around our daily lives. Now, a hater will actually say that we're oppressing him because we're ignoring him when the fact is we don't know that person even exists. So where's the oppression in that? That's what I'm saying.
Nowhere though, it's just like people are just basically, if you really think about it, man, like oppression itself though, can you see how it's really starting to become a buzzword?
Yes.
That's just starting to become like a buzzword that people are also throwing around just for the sake of trying to gain clout and attention, or just have like some type of like ego boost off of feeling marginalized, because they know that anything that's marginalized or any collective that's marginalized is going to automatically grant them the clout or the affirmation that they've been long salivating for. So they want to come up with all these little buzzwords in 2024 to make themselves feel at least a bit important. That's pretty much what you see in a handful of these social movements. And I have to be brutally honest here, because I'm going to even have to say a lot about even this space too. But just because you're quote unquote biracial or quote unquote mulatto or quote unquote MGM, you're not anybody special. You're just a human being with, yes, a unique experience, this, that, and the third, but you are not marginalized. Not in 2024.
I mean, but then if you really look at it, Georgia, right? And we're talking about the spaces and everything. The term, the biracial term, the biracial and everything like that. From what I've been reading and everything like that, it differs from different countries. For example, that lovely singer, Tyler, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
e- Everybody was like, "Oh, why the heck she calls herself colored and this and that? She's rejecting and everything like that." Now, the people who are critics, right? 9 times out of 10, never really lived in South Africa or don't know like the background of South Africa to begin with, and they're just only using their American understanding of race relations to go around and try to dictate everybody else. When the
Oh
fact
yeah,
is,
I
when the
remember
fact
that
is,
though. Mm-hmm. Go
yeah.
on.
So
Yeah,
my thing
yeah.
is,
The colors are very beautiful people down there who descend from the Dutch people, the Dutch settlers, and the Khoisan people. But yeah, go on.
and then on top of it, you have certain people who are I guess of Malay origin also that came to South Africa that they call the coloreds also, and people who are of Indian descent or what have you. So my thing is this, right? Since certain people mixed and everything like that, and they have like their own words and stuff, why is it that an American person is going to go around and try to dictate the politics of another country which they haven't been to, and then it's like the experience that African American or a mixed person has in America will be different from a mixed experience from Europe. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
So,
totally, man. Because yeah, you're basically saying is that yeah, the racial and cultural perceptions elsewhere are going to be a lot different than the cultural and racial perceptions here in the US, because race is going to be configured very differently depending on where you are in the world. Because like, like even what you said, like I had actually this one guy in one of this mixed race group and on Facebook tell me, and it actually surprised me. But he said is that like if I were to go to maybe some certain part of Brazil, I would actually be considered, I guess, white in their eyes because of the fair skin and the lighter eyes, which they would associate
yeah,
with, I guess, whiteness. Which I'm like, oh, I thought I would be considered a what they call a pardo, which is also another racial term in Brazil referring to somebody who at least descends from the Portuguese and the early African slaves. But again, it just goes back to your point, just in regards to how just culture and race are configured differently, much like it is
like
in the case of Tyla and
yeah.
I guess the case of Brazil.
And I'll even go around and step my foot into what I'm saying. Like for example, in the Dominican culture, right? It's like a lot of people don't know is that we have like maybe 6 classifications. I am not kidding by this, right?
Yeah,
So
I've heard of Trigueño.
yeah. Trigueño, Indio, and all the other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's Dominican Republic. In Cuba, because I talk to Cuban people sometimes, they actually would call me, well, a mulatto. And in Puerto Rico, I guess it's different. I can't really talk about Puerto Rico because I never really been there. But you have certain people that they have their little buzzwords also. And then as far as Cali, Colombia, and other um, Latin American countries with significant African populations or Afro or diasporic populations. So my thing that I'm trying to actually say is this: that when you have certain people who they think that they're book smart, or how should I say, the woke. Now, when I'm using the term woke, certain people are using it wrong. Certain
Mhm.
people say, "Oh yeah, that person's woke. That person's woke." But then that person will just read a book that is sold by some guy that's really up on 125th Street that talks about the dreams of black liberation or what have you, right? And then they'll be like, "Oh, we're gonna go around and debate," just thinking that they know everything when the fact is they know little to nothing. And then what they believe is facts just because of their belief system or what somebody is telling them and what have you will actually will coincide will actually will be a culture shock because they're actually in the state of ignorance when the fact is they are not actually going to dig further into what truths are out there that they don't know about. For example, you have certain people that they're like, okay, bet certain African Americans that would love to go around and tell a person, okay, well, you're all discriminating and all this other stuff, right? But yet that's it. But then when they actually going around and they saying that to a person who's not from the United States, another black person who's not from the United States, they forgetting that their concept of race, that while they're trying to put the American concept of race towards a, to a person who's Afro descendant and does not come from the United States, that person will actually have a different view from them. When the fact is, all they learn is either from the guy who's in the street selling these books about the the fantasy. I'm saying fantasies, and certain people could try to prove me wrong, but then they have no actually um archaeological proof to what they're saying. So if you have certain people that they'll actually go and they'll talk about and they'll can make big speeches about everything and anything, but yet they do not have any artifacts or just made up artifacts to go around and to deceive the masses and everything like that. And then when you have that same person try to debate a person who was not born in the United States, but actually know their history and have a different perception of what race is or what a person's educational worth is and everything like that. 9 times out of 10, from what I've seen, that joint gets out the window because some of these people that actually spit out these false philosophies or false ideologies, you have to look at two things. Number one, if they're actually going to go say all that, number one, do they have archaeological proof? Number two, do they even have a passport that actually plays a part in this? And number three, do you have a leg to stand on when you're actually going to go and debate another person about their history just because you have a person who's a failed teacher that did not really teach you all the right stuff for you to even have a leg to stand on when you're going to go and debate people? You just have to look at all these three factors.
Yeah, and then just also the cultural understanding surrounding the concept of race too, and how people look at it very, very differently depending on where you are. Because me and my mom, we do talk about this, every so often though, and she said that, hey, people down south would know exactly and precisely what you are. I'm like, of course they would. I would expect them to, and I would actually hope that they would too, because it's just a very different ball game when it comes to how they racially perceive things. Because I'm like, well, mom, you know that even our very, very white passing family members were also looked at as quote unquote Negro too. And it's even listed on their birth certificates as well. Even though, even to many Americans, it wouldn't really make sense. But you really have to think about the mentality and just the culture that has a different configuration when it comes to the concept of race.
Yes.
So yeah, I have a lot of, or I had a lot of like octoroon or quadroon looking family members still, but they were perceived as quote unquote Negro. It's on their certificates too.
Right.
It at least if they were born after 1950, because that's when the word mulatto was removed from the census. But if they were born like after 1930, they definitely had the N word on their birth certificates,
Right.
even if
Another thing
they
I
looked
have to.
whiter than the white people printing out their birth certificates.
Right. So one thing I gotta ask on Georgia, right? And this
Mm-hmm.
is something I think that you would know, right? Now, apparently, I don't know if this quote unquote people do exist anymore, but have read that certain people were of Melungeon.
Oh yes,
And
yes. Um,
so,
I, like I'm glad you brought that up too, because I even briefly brought up the Melungeons on my page, because I don't know whether you've seen some of the pictures of my grandmother, but somebody
right,
made a comment in regards to how my grandmother, at least at the time when she was really young, some people think that she looked Melungeon too, which I can see, because they were
right,
technically a racially mixed group that started in Hancock County, Tennessee. That's on the far eastern part of the state, going into Appalachia, because that's where their
right.
origins are. But yeah, I love studying about the Melungeons. So, but yeah, Hancock County, Tennessee.
All right. So therefore, since it's Hancock, Tennessee, and the Melungeon, right? Now, is this now talking about this? Is it proof that Abraham Lincoln was a Melungeon or not? Because a lot
It,
of because this is up to debate.
yeah, it's been said that both Abe Lincoln, our 16th president, and even
Hmm.
Elvis were of Melungeon descent. I can see it in both of them. Perhaps our 16th president was probably like just a very, very fair skinned Melungeon guy. That's a big possibility. But I can most definitely see it in Elvis because of his
All
skin
right.
tone, or at least when he got color.
All right. So therefore, this one thing that in American thing is this. Everybody they'll say, "Oh yeah, that Elvis is quote unquote white, and he went up and he learned from African Americans." Okay, well, technically, what is the racial makeup of a Melungeon or
Afro,
or
Euro,
what
and
have
Native.
you? Afro, Euro, and Native. All right. So
And even, by the
technically,
way, also other evidence has pointed out how even some Melungeons had even Middle Eastern descent too.
ooh, I didn't hear that. So how did that come about? Was it like in the 17th or 18th century, or is like more going towards the 19th century?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really sure about that. It's just I've just seen that in like some recent studies about the genealogy of the Melungeon, and in one study it said that some of them even had traces of Middle Eastern origin within them too. But
Right.
undeniably, that group was typically consisted of those who were Afro-Euro native descent, which is precisely what actually my grandmother and even my great grandmothers very much were too. Like I know that a guy who usually comes on to like Jose's stream, he goes by the 18th letter, aka Rakim. He
Yes.
commented actually like a few days ago on the photo of my great grandmother Lula Pearl, who is, by the way, people, you can check her out on my community tab. Lula Pearl, she's right there,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah,
was
I've seen the
also
picture.
yep, Lula Pearl, who unfortunately died pretty young. She passed
Right.
in 1940, born in 1905, but yeah, she was unfortunately, only 35 years old. But I digress. She too was also Afro-Euro native, just like
All right.
many of the Melungeons were.
All
So
right.
she could have,
So,
she could have probably blended very well into the Melungeon community of Hancock County, Tennessee. Plus, she was
all right.
from
So,
Georgia, so hey,
yeah.
she was right there.
Yeah.
She could have easily blended in if she wanted to.
All right. So another question that I'm about to ask as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So since certain people they want to go and talk about that was only white and everything like that, wouldn't it be fair that if Elvis went up and was going to the church and everything like that, wouldn't it be fair to say that Elvis was actually with partially his own people when he was going to church and learning how to sing and everything like that?
Hmm. I
Yeah,
never
Jose,
thought
you can
about it.
chime in though. I mean, we didn't really mean to like dominate the convo, but
No,
chime
it's
in.
okay. It's okay. But nowadays it's like everyone is really going out of their way to be so special, to be so unique, or they're dying to become a victim and talking about that their cause has to be saved and whatnot.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because nowadays people are glamorizing the idea of being oppressed and marginalized because again, it's what's going to get them like the cloud and the clickbait and the attention that they were long craving for a long time. Because who doesn't really want to feel important? A lot of people do. And if you can go out there and create some narrative out of a buzzword you created about how you're marginalized, oh, you're going to start to feel like you're king or queen of the world.
Yeah.
That's the days that we're living in right now. But I
right,
would hope that Jose or Gigi or Irby or you, Don, I hope you guys would slap me silly if I started to get on here and say that we are marginalized, we're experiencing intersectional oppression. And yeah, Gigi, I hope that you would slap me big time if I were to start talking like that. I don't even want to be your friend if I started to talk like that.
right,
Because, I'm not going for that. I'm not buying that. Not in this day and age, and not with what I believe in as far as God and the gospel and that kind of stuff goes. Because
right,
all the wokeness and everything and creating all these buzzwords, it's actually anti-God. So I would hope that Jose, you, or Gigi would slap me if I started to talk like
right.
that.
Got you.
I'm sure that will be the case. And then there's other people, you know, is on our circles that they're basically more or less the same. They're not very bashful in expressing their point of view.
Right.
But changing the subject. Okay, what's your impression of Donald Trump selling Bibles?
Selling
This
Bibles?
is one. this one thing I'm going to say. First of all, and certain people may or may not agree with me, because I'm not going to go around and say I'm the best Christian, but I do believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. I have a belief that the Word of God is free. Now people who are selling Bibles to, I guess, spread the word or anything like that. Okay, I see it. But if Donald, this is one thing. If Donald Trump is having his Bible and he's selling it for $60 and everything like that, I don't know. I can't really. I don't know what his intention is. I guess we will see down the line. But me personally, from what I've read and everything like that, I've always thought that the word of God was free. Certain
It's
people
because
may
it is free. Like the gift of
exactly
salvation is free, so should the
uh
gospel. So yeah, he shouldn't be doing
yeah
that if
so
he is.
yeah because it actually goes to me like the story when Jesus went into the temple and he saw that people were actually selling goods within the temple when the temple was actually supposed to be a holy place. Now, with that said, and now Donald Trump is actually selling Bible for $60. Okay, so if he is selling the Bible for $60, right? Is it going to have the chapters that nobody's supposed to read that was supposed to be in the Bible, or is it going to be a Bible which he may misinterpret something? You just have to go around and see down the line what he's actually doing by selling that by selling his Bible, right? So therefore, is it going to go and help people, or is it going to be pocketing it himself? Because if you're selling Bibles and you're pocketing all the money yourself, 9 times out of 10, I hate to call it, but you're not doing God's work.
Let's welcome our dear friend Gigi into the conversation. Good evening, Gigi.
Welcome aboard.
Hi. Hey,
Hey,
Georgia. Hey,
Gigi.
Don. How y'all doing?
Oh, doing
Oh, we're
great
doing
though. It's
fine.
a wonderful privilege to see all of us, see all four of us on a panel for the first time in a long
Yeah,
time.
I know, right?
Do I sound loud, like clear, or far, or like quiet?
No, you
Yeah,
sound fine.
you sound clear.
Okay,
Yeah, you
good.
No,
sound
you
fine.
sound fine.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. I just came in. Y'all talking.
Okay. Well, actually, what we're doing, this is open discussion. Just discussing random things, um,
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature. Um, Look, I'm gonna put it this way. Not any person, regardless of whatever you might think of who they are or what they've done or allegedly have done, they do have the right to sell stuff, whether it be Bibles, whether it be shoes, whether it be I don't know what have you. Okay. And again, when it comes to people like Donald Trump, whatever you might feel about the person, everyone is innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, I do think that Don had a good point about, you know, but it's kind of like I don't know what to think about it, to be honest, because it's like, yeah, it is kind of strange to sell the Bible and make profit, but then on the other side, people do sell Christian different items and prayer cloths and lots of different things, you know what I mean? So I don't know what to think about it, really. At the same time, you're still distributing products that is bringing God's word to people, so I don't know. Preachers, they sometimes get rich off of their church. So God does also bless you. So I don't know what to think about it
Yeah, I just think that
when you
if
do
he
his
is
work.
doing that, that should be a big no-no. Is just because gift of salvation is free, along with the gospel, all free, and so therefore all that stuff should be distributed freely, since that has so much to do with your precious soul. which is very important to a very jealous God that we have and everything. So I would say if he wants to purchase a bunch of Bibles for himself and then distribute it among his crowd to show that, yeah, he cares about, I guess, everybody's souls and just the fact that the gift of salvation is free, I think that would probably be a better way to put it. But yeah, if you really want to like maybe sell like maybe some other merchandise like t-shirts, that's fine. But with like the Bible, Word of God itself, no, that needs to
But we
be
we all
free.
have to get the Bible from somewhere. Like people aren't generally passing them out. You do have to go and buy one. Like
That's
regardless.
true. I just personally think it shouldn't be like that, but I get it.
Yeah,
It's like that, even though I don't think it should be.
yeah. I feel you. That's why I say I'm conflicted on that one. That one's a tough one.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I'm kind of conflicted as well because it's like when I heard that and and then it's saying everything, I don't know what the basis of the Bible that he's selling or anything like that. So therefore, that's why I'm actually conflicted. But then again, I'm not. But then again, the Bibles that I know that people buy and everything like that generally will be like, okay, the most expensive Bible that I've actually seen people actually buy, in my opinion, will be maybe like in the $35 or $40 range. But as far as as far as paying $60 for a Bible, it's like okay, so what is his purpose? That's what I want to know because everybody's hey, Donald Trump is selling a $60 Bible. Okay, so what is his underlying purpose? That's all I care about.
okay.
Hmm.
First of all, I just want to walk in Dreadlock Diaries into the chat. Good evening, Kesha. Let's not forget the fact that Donald Trump is has been a has 91 criminal and civil charges levied against him. Okay, again, he is innocent until proven guilty. So therefore, you're going to have to pay a lot of money to pay for legal fees for all those accusations. Plus, he's trying to run a campaign to regain the White House. So between the two of them, of course, he's going to try to raise funds in whatever fashion that he deems appropriate. So um, one
Cause
would
show
like to
where are
see.
Bibles free? I don't know anywhere that gives away free Bibles. Like they're in Walmart, they're in bookstores, but they really don't
Okay,
give free. Even the ones at the church, they just leave them in the pew. You can't take them home unless somebody's nice and says, "Hey, you can have this." But you know what I mean? Generally, we have to
Yep.
buy Bibles.
okay. I
I've,
think the only
I've been to
ones.
places that give out free Bibles.
Really? So yeah,
Yes.
I'm
But
okay.
most people
Well,
don't anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the ones I've been to in like a place like Wyoming, even out here where I am, and elsewhere, they gave out free Bibles. They may not really
Well,
give out your particular favorite version of it, though, but they still gave out one freely.
Well,
And it was
even
like
if it's right or
NIV.
wrong out of it, it's just weird in general that he would pick that product, I guess, in a way. You know what I mean? It's interesting to say the least.
well, I think the only group of people that will actually give away free Bibles would be like missionaries.
Yeah.
Um, I know early, years ago, I would actually buy New Testaments and give them freely to people that ask for one
Hmm.
without asking for a penny.
Yeah.
But like
What
I said
what did
before,
what did it say?
as
What did she say? They give them where? I missed it. You went
In New York
fast.
City. She says in her area of New York, she never had to buy one.
Oh, okay. Let me see. They give them out all the time. Oh, okay. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, but now switching the okay, switching. Of course, I'm being that we are in Holy Week. Of course, I'm going to be talking about my reflections regarding this week. Of course, this week is a very special week for Christians, starting with Palm Sunday when we remember Jesus entering into Jerusalem, and then leading up to the Last Supper, the crucifixion, and his resurrection.
Hmm.
And of course, in the Latino community, this is like a huge event for us, which we refer to as Spanish La Semana Mayor, the Great Week.
Hmm. Well, what about it? What was the question?
No, I'm just saying that for okay, you see, in the Latino community,
Hmm.
Holy Week is huge. Part of
Hmm.
it, it's cultural. Part of it is religious because we have different uh, religious days, starting with Palm Sunday when we remember Jesus entering into Jerusalem. And then we have Holy Thursday, which is tonight, where we remember, the Last Supper before his crucifixion. Tomorrow being Good Friday when he was crucified. And then there's Sunday, which is Easter, when we celebrate his resurrection.
Yeah, I don't really feed into much to the holidays, like except for like Christmas and birthdays. Just, I mean, it's all pagan, to be honest, in my opinion, and it's just based upon capitalism at this point. But I get it as far as it being cultural.
Well,
Yeah, I guess it all depends on really like how a person really wants to make a new meaning out of it. I get that though, because meanings do change over time. But yeah, there is also like a bit of a pagan aspect when it does, like, I guess, come to even Christmas though, because a lot of
Yeah.
pagans describe it as being the year of quote unquote Yule, which is a pagan holiday.
Yeah, behind
Yeah,
all of the holidays,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
like
yeah,
some
yeah.
dark.
Yeah, it's like okay, like for example, right? I don't know if certain people, because I know certain people who who are messianic and everything like that, and certain people are saying that even the word Easter,
Yeah.
well, it's not even quote unquote biblical, because if you actually read the Bible and it talks about the resurrection of Jesus Christ and everything like that. Now I may be wrong or stuff like that, and somebody could maybe correct me, but I never seen the word Easter in the Bible.
um, I do not recall saying it in the Bible, and in fact, um, there are some pagan customs that are attached to Easter. Actually, I call Easter Resurrection Day.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, behind all of
And
the holidays, there's really like kind of like a dark story to them. Like even Easter with like the rabbits, like all of these things actually mean things that's been engraved in like our society. And like even with the Christmas, there's something too about that with the I don't know. I don't have all the information in front of me, but it's just a lot of
well,
different things that we have in
What I
yeah,
can what
well, yeah. I'll let you talk, Georgia. Please continue.
It's going to be quick though, but yeah, Gigi though. So there was this one very short YouTube video which talked about how a lot of these holidays do nothing but bring out like the seven deadly sins out of people though. They would say that Christmas starts to bring out it brings out greed because now people want more and more and more. And as we already know, during Christmas time, a lot of people receive gifts that they don't even appreciate because they don't think it was enough. So they want more and more and more. And then Halloween brings out wrath. And then also Thanksgiving brings out gluttony. And then Valentine's Day brings out lust. See the pattern
hmm
here?
Yeah.
maybe Easter will probably fall into maybe the category of gluttony. So
Right.
I won't
Well,
really deny that there probably is like a demonic element that maybe comes with all these holidays. So, Gigi, you may have a good point.
Yeah,
all
there's
right.
like really a story
All
behind all
right.
that. I just don't want to. I
Uh,
don't know the exact story, but
I, I,
they
I'll
have
tell.
perversed like everything that was holy and good, basically. You know.
All right,
There you
and I'll
go.
tell,
They perversed it too
and
with those 7 deadly sins.
yeah. One thing I'm gonna go around and say, because I'm just gonna make this quick, and certain people may or may not be offended. Now, what they say about Easter is that Easter is actually what I guess the pagan goddess Semiramis was, and then what is considered Lent is like is actually like I guess a old ancient custom which was called the weeping of Tammuz. So people commemorate the year every year of life that this guy Tammuz did before he got killed by a wild boar. And I'm trying to see what else.
It's
Um,
something with a
they said,
rabbit.
and then they say that the mother of Tammuz, Semiramis, went up and passed away, and then became reincarnated as an egg-laying rabbit, and they actually um, colored colored the eggs of the rabbit with red, which they say is one Christian denomination that still does that, and people do not know why it does. But to me, I mean, I could be wrong or I could be right, but the thing is, though, there's a guy named Michael Rood that I say that everybody should at least listen to because he actually put perspective on what these holidays are and everything.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, look, I don't, you see, I don't even use the term Easter. I use the term Resurrection Day, which is more appropriate. And,
Hmm.
or I'll say in Spanish,
Dia de
Feliz,
Resurrección.
Feliz Dia de la Resurrección. Happy Resurrection Day. Because
Mhm.
because I want to put the focus on the fact that Jesus rose on from the dead, not because of a bunny or eggs and chocolate or Easter egg hunts.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But each one is entitled for their own personal opinions. Um, Gigi, I just shared earlier in the stream that this week I reached two milestones. The first milestone was, of course, reaching 80,000 views on my platform. The second one
Yeah.
is today I reached 350 subs.
Congratulations, Jose.
Thank you.
You.
But in all humility, all of you have made it possible for me.
Listen, I give you your credit though. You show up. You're consistent. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take credit too, because whether some anybody hits your link or not, you're gonna come up here and you're gonna do your show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, I said this before. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Basically.
there's gonna be times where it's just gonna be me talking my head off. And there's gonna be other times there's gonna be people when there's gonna be like four people on the panel. Or one time I actually had 8 people um on one of my streams.
It's
Yeah.
just hit or miss with YouTube until you actually get a substantial following. So that's why it's like the highs and lows of YouTube. Like I can have a video that gets almost 2,000 views, and then I can get a video that gets 200 views. You know what I mean? So it's just like that until you actually get to a strong like place on YouTube.
Yeah,
Exactly, Gigi.
it's all unpredictable on here though because even for the last couple videos I uploaded on the shorts. So like the most recent one I uploaded of my auntie, that one got almost 500 views, but the video before that got much less. So it's hit or miss, especially if you are within a small sector of YouTube.
Yeah, and then
Speaking of, there's been a lot of conversations going on about, I guess everybody's feeling motivated now to, build the community. Have you guys been seeing any of these discussions going on?
Yeah, I've seen it, and you know what? And I love the fact that there's an attempt to try to get some sort of reconciliation regarding the areas of the biracial and mixed community. That's a good thing because.
Hold on, I have to step away again. Wait, what's going on?
Hey, Hammer.
Shout out to Hammer Time.
Good evening, Hammer Time.
Hey, Hammer Time.
No, I was just saying, asking if everybody had seen, different people slowly trickling back to kind of like, getting into work and showing more interest in like building a community again. Because it seemed like there was a war and then everybody just, went into recovery mode, and then people are slowly coming back and, interested in building a community again. Because let me tell you something, all the shit everybody talked, this sector was still popping, and in different sectors around YouTube, they knew about this sector, and it's dead now.
All right. Well, prior to anything, I think, it's like, if you actually look at it, I was actually introduced, I don't know about, Don Jose, but I was actually introduced, to the sector by Hazel. Shout out to her. And the thing is, yeah. So I didn't know
Hazel Eyes. I remember her.
Yeah, Hazel Eyes. So I did not know. I did not know anything that it was MGMs or nothing like that, right? So I was actually learning. Certain individuals got their feathers ruffled and stuff, and then certain people who I guess who was of the community was working with people that don't like me. With that said, right, I was just actually learning more and more and more about, what y'all went through or what people are going through, what people want to classify themselves. But then after a while, I went up and I had to get a step way back, because I've seen certain people who are, just that's really not about, I guess, unity or anything like that. And they're all about causing division because they have an agenda, which is not, and I'm just saying because I've seen it, that it's not about unifying or anything like that. It's just about being ratchet or whatever. So I had to go around and step back and just focus on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I just want to welcome Hammer Time Funk. Good evening. Thank you very much for stopping by. She has her own channel where she airs content. A lot of it's musical, so I ask it, if you have not done so, check it out.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, but actually, it was the same thing. Hazel was the first one that I met. Then I met you, Gigi. Then I met Multi, and I met Jojo, and then the other members, the biracial and mixed community. Some of them, those experiences have not been all that great, but a lot of it has been positive. And and the fact of the matter is, I've received a great deal of love from the biracial, multiracial community.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, been a ride. It's been a ride, y'all.
Yeah,
it has.
It's been.
This ride has been a huge mixed bag, to be quite honest.
Regardless of people that hate each other, like, we've all still been on this crazy ride together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. And it's funny, Gigi, right? It's fun. It's funny how me and Giorgio. It was funny when it was on Radical, right? So I'm just talking and everything. The next thing you know, I see Giorgio is like, yeah, I remember his voice from Telegram. I was like, Telegram, because
I remember that. Yeah, that was back almost 2 years ago too.
Yeah, because it was like, on Telegram, right? I'll be like in certain chat rooms. So therefore, I'm kind of like, how should I say, quote unquote, the troll. That when I see certain people talking about a boring topic, I go around and I put them in a tangent, and then people will start talking about that. So, and then I've been on, voice. I've been talking on the voice on Telegram and everything like that. Not really saying nothing, but talking to people, seeing their viewpoints or whatever. And certain people's like, "Why you're like this?" Or certain stuff. I'm like, Telegram, I didn't really ever take seriously because it was funny and everything like that. And then when I'm actually talking on Radical Show, it was like, "Hey, I remember you from Telegram." I'm like, my voice, really?
That's when I went by George Orr Squadron at the time. But yeah, I remember.
Yeah, yeah, because it
Um,
was like,
yeah. But you know something, I have to admit, it's been interesting. I have been referred to as an old, senile, lonely white guy, racist. Now I'm probably going to be known as fat phobic. And
Yes.
uh,
George
yeah,
Lord,
yeah,
how did you find this space?
How did I find this?
Yeah.
A friend from Telegram shared one of AB's videos, and then from there, that's how
Okay,
I
and then I
got
watched it.
myself started.
Okay.
And here I am
Yeah, I
yeah.
can
today,
remember.
nearly 2 years later.
And it's funny, right? That with the space and everything like that, I've been educated on what certain things is. I didn't even know the term MGM or anything like that. I just thought like all throughout my life, okay, a person's mixed or whatever. I didn't know that there was levels to this. So with this bumpy ride, I've been like maybe a content creator for 2 years. As you know, the words, I've been called a fake Dominican. I've been called a monoracial. I've been called a fat B. Um, and but the part that I find comical is monoracial. You know why? Because I never gotten that. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten, okay, you're one set, you're with the other set. And me personally, I've actually been mistaken for being an Ethiopian or Eritrean within my lifetime. So
Yeah, I can
to
see
actually,
that.
to actually be called a monoracial was actually being funny. And then when Giorgio went up and said the joke, I started laughing.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, but guys,
I can definitely say I've been called the worst of the worst things that a person probably shouldn't even be called in this space. But I have visited lots of other sectors on YouTube, and you know, unfortunately, that is the culture around YouTube where, people do this to each other on here. So,
Well, Gigi, not as worse as stuff I'm being called on here, but
mhm.
we don't
Well,
even
yeah,
have
yeah.
to. I think I got hit the worst out of everybody on this panel.
Well, I don't know.
well,
I mean, the things that have been said about me were pretty disgusting, So, I
Hmm.
mean, we can put them, on similar levels, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that. But yeah,
Yeah,
definitely been
well,
getting hit hard too.
actually,
yeah.
guys, none of you has been compared to Hitler like myself.
Stop
Oh wow.
Simply so saying, if you're cool with me, I'm cool with you.
it.
I mean, like this is what I'm saying. If they went up and they compare you to Hitler, I guess I'll be Mussolini then. So
No, or better yet, you should be Francisco Franco.
well, yeah.
Irby said I've been a simp.
I mean, I
The
mean,
thing
I
is,
mean, I mean,
people fish and they try to find the thing that bothers you, and then once they find that sweet spot, they just hone in on it. It's just how it is on YouTube. But I am glad to see that the space is moving in a more positive direction, even though people are still fighting all you can do at this point is just work with the people that want to be
We'll
peaceful
work
and
with
actually
you.
just make content. Yeah, I want to work with you.
Exactly.
I
Same
mean, I
here.
mean, I mean, I mean, it's funny, right? That now certain people, right? They want to go around and use my real name and like they know me and everything like that. I'm like, this is what's funny, right? You can't go around and complain. Some of my haters can't go and complain on YouTube anymore, so they go around. They be, you know, Twitter fingers like on Meek Mills and everything like that. Oh, by the way, no Meek, since everybody's in how should I say in the United States are saying no Diddy. So so with that said, right? It's funny on all the names that I've been called. I've been called a monk. I've been called, how should I say, a big old Sasquatch. Oh, you're slow. Just because I guess of the delivery that I use my words. I've been called. I'm gonna say the funniest part was monoracial, right? And then I've been called a fat B. And then they'll be like, oh, I've been called desperate. I've been I've been having I've been taking a picture of showing me my wife, and then they want to go around and they want to go around and say disrespectful things about my wife and everything like that. I'm like, you know what? Since I went up and I cursed out a guy for that, they want to go around and think that that they're still hurting me when the fact is they're not. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're gonna go around and try to take out a wound and everything like that, and people just still prospering with without you. And then on top of it, some of the people that actually engaged in this quote unquote internet persecution actually went up and got their channels shut down. It's funny, y'all got doxxed, and then after that, the next week your channel gets shut down. Was it worth it?
No, it wasn't
Like,
really worth all the online harassment and everything. You know, it's funny that you mention all that stuff though, because when I went onto my TikTok page, there was this person who came onto my page and liked my video with my dog, and this person
mhm.
had the title, quote unquote, "Stop stalking me." I have a feeling, as I have this gut feeling, who that may be, but I instantly blocked that person.
Yes. I mean, like, I'm going to tell you what's funny, right? As soon as I had a discourse with somebody, right? And I'm not gonna go say their names because you know they're the suing type. You know what I'm saying? So when I went up and I was on a person's panel, the next panel there was mentioning my name as a person by the name of Duke. Now I actually spoke to Duke. I was like, okay, I blocked these dudes. It was like before I got doxxed, like maybe 4 or 5 months before, and then whoop de doo, I got doxxed. So my thing is this, right? If if everybody was calling me a person by the name of Duke, remind you, I'm new to the biracial movement that y'all have, and I'm just learning what it is. And then they'll call me Duke, and they told me who this Duke is, which I actually spoke to on Discord. Now, with that said, right, I was being this and that. Now, when I was in the panel, they was saying that I'm a piece of filth just because of who I decide to have on my channel. The last time I checked, this is America, right? So therefore, if I'm having somebody that you don't like on the channel, why should I be called filth? That actually shows the immaturity of certain individuals. If I'm a friend to you, Jose Negron, and I'm a friend to you, Giorgio, and I'm a friend to you, Gigi, right? And we're all getting along. Now, who's an outsider out of everything that we have in our friendship calling me filth when the fact is you don't even know me? And then on top of it, you will go around and dox the person, and then you want to go around and make up all these sensational stuff. So my thing is this: if a person's gonna go around and use my government name and they want to act like they know me, when the fact is I don't even know what the heck you look like because certain people they love to use AI on their images and everything like that. Am I that important that you had to go around and do that? I mean, for all this stuff, I guess I'm getting treated. I'm getting the celebrity treatment, but I'm not getting the $1 million. So what was that all that for? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what gets me is that, you know, just because I'm cool with certain individuals on this platform, all of a sudden I'm like public enemy number one. I mean, it's like, first of all, get therapy, okay, number one, and just deal with whatever emotional trauma that you're dealing with. I mean, look, I mean, I have been kicked out of discords, okay? I have been blocked, I have been removed from panels simply for me being me, okay? And if you're that hyper sensitive that you cannot deal with whom I deal with, you have major issues.
I,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even
I'm just living
active
in
on
in my
Discord
present.
anyway.
I'm just chilling. I don't care about fighting with people on YouTube. Yeah, I don't conversate with none of these people like that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like I've actually been removed from groups too. I'm actually glad that I'm not even a part of those groups anymore. It's nothing personal, but I found a lot more peace and comfort and solace outside of those groups. And if anything, peace is power. But I will
Mhm.
still, occasionally jump onto Discord whenever like somebody like sends me a message because I'll get the alert on my phone. But that's about it.
This is one thing that I don't understand, right? You could go around and certain people, right? They be in a group or whatever, and they go around and they'll claim that, oh, you got dog walked and everything like that. Okay, so therefore, this is my thing. If you actually go and you dog walk a person, right? Is this really considered dog walking when that person's not there?
No, what was the question again?
If a person, right? They
Hmm.
claim that they have their own group and they have their own friends. It's like, oh yeah, we dog walk that person, right? But
Uh-huh.
if that person is not in your group, right, or you're not talking to them or anything like that, they're not present, or you actually having a debate or an insult fest or anything like that, did you really dog walk that person, or you're just sounding like a disgruntled old person when you do this and then you claim that it's dog walking? That's
More
what I
so,
don't
this
get.
disgruntled person though, whose maturity level should be put into serious question. Though, I mean, like, and then I guess when it comes to the whole Discord groups, I'm like, guys, I already know like what these people are saying. I've seen all those screenshots. I've seen all those little screen recordings too that I hear in the Discord chats too. I know what's going on and I know what people are in here saying because I've seen them all already. Just because you guys talk behind closed doors, that does not mean that I can't hear or see what's going on, by the way. So
Mhm.
I just leave it at
I don't
that, and I'm
even
just glad
care
I'm
to
not in
know at
those
this
groups.
point. I don't even care to know at this point if people, are wasting their time talking about me. Hopefully they're
Same here.
not.
I mean, like
But
when
like I'm
people have showed me it, I just kind of laugh at it though, and I'm just like, well, I don't
yeah.
really exactly care because if
It's kind of
anything,
different when it comes to your attention though. I get that. So like yeah, if
hmm
people are bringing it to your attention, of course it's going to penetrate your consciousness, but
hmm
I mean, I don't know. I just see that whole like Discord entity situation as just negative. I don't see any positivity in that. But then again, it honestly probably is the group of people as well. Cause, I give Exoticals United credit. She has actually built a safe community over there, where everybody's happy and supportive of each other. And unfortunately to say to you guys, but like I think a big part of that is they decentered men, you know what I mean? So it's like all the women are over there supporting each other, they're not fighting with each other. But for whatever reason over here, it's just like always men and women fighting each other.
hmm well, like
I,
she
I, I,
actually wrote me on Discord saying this that her group is members only. But if I wanted to come back, then I would have to sign up for a membership, which, I'm fine with because, yeah, that's definitely is a way, to maintain order.
Right.
And it has worked very well for Exoticals. So yeah, I mean, like if you really want some order though, then yeah, start demanding like membership. Whereas, hey, since you're going to be spending your hard-earned money in this group though, then you may want to behave.
That makes sense.
right. So
But I wasn't even
Yeah.
right.
speaking
I
about
mean,
the Discord. I just meant on the channel as well, as far as like the community or whatever.
I
So,
mean, I got my own channel also, so therefore I'm just extending the invitation. Y'all welcome to come, bring your friends and everything like that. And my Discord is open to positive people, not negative poop bandits. You know
I
what I'm
mean, it's the
saying?
same. It's the same
I
thing.
mean,
It's the same thing with my Discord. I mean, as well. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time at Discord. I mean, first of all, I got more important things to worry about. I mean, something as mundane as preparing for surgery in a couple of months. So it's like, do I really want to get involved in all the stupidity out there? Whether it be in Discord and YouTube. I mean, people want to act crazy. They can act crazy at their level. Just don't bring their craziness to my side of the fence.
yeah,
I
Um,
think for
I mean,
I think for me, like I never really liked the aspect of like hanging out all day with these people in Discord or even just hanging out in general with them. Like, I kind of just liked it better was when it was on YouTube. I do understand that people do enjoy that, but I'm not like the type of content creator where I actually really want people to have access to me like that. Just because I've been through a lot on YouTube and I've learned my lessons.
same here though. I mean, like I'm
Right.
already at a point where I could set up a Discord and I can actually have it going even now if I wanted to, but no, I'm not going to do that.
But you got to
I
actually
think
spend
that
time in there and interact with people to build it, is my point. So that would be an investment of energy and
I
time. You know what I mean? That
don't
I
have
don't
time
have
for
to
that.
give. Yeah.
I mean, like I have all
I'm
these
not. Yeah.
jobs going
Yeah.
on. I don't have time for that. I actually have a real life outside of social media.
Yeah. I
Well,
do.
because I
It's
saw
like
Magic through her Discord first, and I watched how she did it, and she would be in there. Like, I don't know about now, but I'm saying she would, really be in there a lot and having people help out and to really build it. So, it's kind of like building a channel, isn't it? To build a Discord.
Yeah, I think that goes for
yeah.
like just about everybody though who made like their own channel though, like even AB him as well though, like just about all of
Hmm.
everybody who went down the
Yeah.
Discord route.
But
Even
who
I,
I
actually
if
has
mean,
I decided to go
successful
down the Discord
Discords?
route too, I would have to do the same thing.
But who actually has successful Discords, like with like lots of people in it?
I think it will be Andrew on tape.
Well, I meant in this space,
I
but of
guess it
course
I
would be
mean,
now, yeah,
Exoticals, I guess.
it's
I
easier.
think it'll be. I think it'll be. I don't know because I guess I'll have to see Exoticals, but I am on AB's Discord, so therefore, it's actually quiet. People he does his stuff, and people we support his stuff. There was another person who was actually on my channel the last time I had a live stream. Shout out to Nina. I actually met her on Discord. So therefore, me and her, we was actually discussing about computers and everything like that, for that matter. So it was just that, I don't really have time because I do have a life, but then you have certain people who don't have a life, just trying to find out what I'm doing and stuff, and trying to say that what they think I'm doing, which to me is funny because certain people could be all the way in the West Coast and they're trying to clock out to see what you do in your personal life. I'm like, I'm not that famous.
I'm like, catch me if you can, because I'm usually always on the road.
yeah.
Yep.
Hence,
Well,
you can see like my default picture. What does it say?
It's out
yeah.
right now, unless
Family
that's my
guy.
Wi-Fi. You don't have a picture up right now, from what I see. Do you guys see his avatar?
Nah, I
Yeah.
don't see your avatar as a.
Actually, I saw it earlier. It had something with Wyoming on it.
Yep, that's the Wyoming-Utah state line. I don't think
Okay.
anyone is interested in me though, because I'm not always in a specific spot.
So what do you drive around for work? You go to state for work or something?
Half and half.
Mhm.
Sometimes I do it all just for vacation purposes too. I'm a
Yeah.
road tripper, Gigi, big time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wish I was a road tripper. The only thing is, though, I need to learn how to drive first.
Well, like I said, like as long as you give me decent internet connection though, and my laptop can connect well to it though, I should be good.
I'm gonna start to wrap this up because I
All
generally try
right.
to keep it within 2 hours. Can you guys hang out in the backstage to talk briefly?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start taking closing remarks. I'm gonna start with um, the Shave Supremacist show. Then I'm
Yes.
gonna put him in the backstage. Then I'm gonna take Georgia's remarks and put in the backstage, and then Gigi, you'll be the last one. So, Don Armando, your final remarks.
Well, my final thoughts is like, don't vote for Biden and don't vote for Trump. Vote for the Shade Supremacist Party. We're gonna make it fun. One.
Okay, well, thank you very much for stopping by. And for those who have not, if you have not done so, please subscribe to his channel and check out his content. So, what I'm going to do, Don Armando, I'm going to put you in the backstage. Okay. Now, Georgia, your final remarks.
Peace is power. And if people are trying to like bring you all this chaos, whether they're doing it covertly or overtly, then people are not going to be able to have peace even for themselves. So I think that if everybody wants to have like peace because of how it truly is power, then kind of act as if you really want that. Don't start none, there will be none.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Georgia, for stopping by. And of course, if you have not checked out his content, please do so. And please show some love and subscribe to his channel as well. So, Giorgio, I'm going to put you in the backstage. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Anytime.
Okay. Now, Gigi, your final remarks.
Well, thank you for having me up, Jose, and thank everybody for tuning in. Everybody hit the like button, please. Shout out to the replay game. And just to peace.
Well, okay, well, thank you very much for stopping by. I really appreciate all the support that you continue to give me. I really do appreciate it. And again, please show some love to Golden Goddess and check out her content and subscribe to her platform. So thank you very much. I'm going to put you in the backstage as well. And then I'm going to have my final thoughts. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. Now I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Basically, it was a very good stream. We talked about a lot of topics, and that's what we try to do. It's an opportunity for everyone to express their point of views. Next week's schedule is going to be a little different because I have some prior commitments which I have to keep. So I'm going to be doing a stream on Sunday, Wednesday, and probably Friday. But in any case, a huge shout out to all those who appear in the chat, and a huge shout out to those who appear on the panel. And a huge shout out for all the love and support all you've given me. So, with that being said, we're going to close the same way I always close. We must eliminate the presence of mentally, intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negro saying good night, take care, be the best person yourself, and peace.